So, coming on here doing my daily live. I did one last night. And if anybody who was watching was wondering how I fared last night, I fared just fine. As usual, angels came around. Protecting me. So I fared just fine last night. But I came on here because I find myself going down the same rabbit hole that I've been down for some time now. And I'm tired of going down the same rabbit hole. And it's in regards to my kids. Winter Rose Madison and Laker Lou Jackson. I have pictures of them on this page. I have pictures of them all over my social media platforms. Pictures of my kids. But I find myself going down the same rabbit hole with trying to find my kids because the ex has disappeared with my kids. So, and it's like, I don't care how many proper steps I take to find them. As the judge told me in one of the court cases, I followed all proper protocol. I followed all the rules, the policies, and everything in regards to how to go about protecting me and protecting my kids. Yet, and still, my kids, where are my kids, right? So, I'm going to take it back a little bit. We're going to take it back to February 22nd, 2019. And that date is very relevant because that is the day that my ex-mother-in-law poisoned my daughter, Winter Rose. Brenda Marie Flim, poisoned my daughter. She stuck something down her throat while her husband, Paul Flim, stood in front of the door watching her do it. How do I know that? I'll tell you how I know that. Because the day of February 22nd, 2019, it was 8-something in the morning. Me and the ex was sitting on the couch having coffee, discussing whatever errands that we were going to make that day with the kids. The kids were upstairs in their cribs, still sleeping. But then there was a loud banging on the door. Boom, 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 which made us jump. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What's going on here? What's like, what? Who the hell is that? So I grabbed my phone to check the Ring camera. And when I saw on the Ring camera was Brenda Marie Flim, which is the ex's mother, and Paul Flim, who is the ex's stepfather, outside my front door on camera, banging like ferociously at the front door. So much so that the ex had to jump up to run to the door in order to make them stop because the kids were upstairs sleeping. When the ex opened the door, the ex said, I told you about this. I told you that you can't come over here doing that. I told you that you're going to stop disrupting my house and doing this with my family. So her and her mother proceeded to argue back and forth. And then because the ex would not let the parents through the door, the mother stuck her arm through the door. She had a large hot coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. And she dumped it on my ex. Dumped it all over her. Poured it all over, which made the ex flinch and jump back from the door. And so that's how the mother-in-law and the father-in-law were able to get into the house, which was forced entry. Is that legal? Yeah, I don't think so. So anyway, forced entry into my home. So then they made their way into the house, yelling, screaming, cursing, being aggressive, emotionally, verbally abusive. That's what that's called. Okay? Now, the stepfather was quiet the whole time. He just follows the mother. And so the ex and the mother got into a really, really heated argument, just going back and forth, going back and forth. And then the ex-mother-in-law wanted to know why we didn't show up for her birthday. And I said, well, we sent you flowers for your birthday. We said you didn't get the flowers. She said, I don't give a fuck about those flowers, which means she probably threw them in the garbage. We spent like $100 on those flowers. I don't give a fuck about those flowers is what she said. And I was like, oh, okay. And my birthday, my birthday, my birthday, my birthday. That's why all of this transpired. Because the ex-mother-in-law was pissed about her birthday, that we sent her beautiful big bouquet of flowers for her birthday. So then again, the ex-mother-in-law and the ex proceeded to, or continued to argue and go back and forth, to the point where the ex-mother-in-law told the daughter she didn't care about. I don't care about you. I got 2 other daughters. You're dead to me. You're dead to me. I have other daughters. I don't care. Da, da, da. And then, of course, I think that struck a chord in the ex, because then the ex got really, really upset and emotional and said, you always do this to me. Ever since I was a kid, you always treated me horrible and called me all kind of names. And I, you know, she's, mother wounds, right? Mother wounds. And so while all that was going on, the stepfather was still watching, of course. I was very upset because it got physical between the ex-mother-in-law and the ex. It got physical. The ex-mother-in-law knocked the ex down on the floor. Just pushed the ex down on the floor. And then that's when the ex said, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. So everything just escalated, like from the ferocious banging on the front door. To my room. I walked into my master closet and called my mother because I didn't know what to do. I was upset. All of this was going on. My babies are in the crib, sleeping. I'm like, what is going on here? What is going on? So I called my mother, crying, saying and telling her everything that was transpiring, and I asked her for advice on what to do. What should I do? What should I do? And she said, well, what's going on? And I told her, and I said, well, the ex called the cops and everything. And all right, well, stay on the phone with me. And, and I said, well, and I'm just crying because I'm very upset. And then it just got really dead quiet, right? Because my mom said, well, what's going on now? Where's everybody now? And I said, I don't know, but it just got really, really, really quiet, right? And my mother said, well, go and see what's going on. I said, okay. So as I walked out of my master bedroom closet, through my master bathroom, into my master bedroom, out of my master bedroom door, I walked down the hallway and I peeked to the right because my kids' rooms was down the hallway. I peeked to the right and I saw the ex-father-in-law, Paul Flem, standing in front of my kid's door. He was covering the door with his whole body and he had his left arm positioned over the door, like, up in the door entryway. And I'm like, well, what is he looking at? So I walked closer and closer and closer, okay? They didn't know I was there. I was quiet. And as I got closer to the ex-father-in-law, he noticed that I was behind him. He jumped and moved away from the door immediately to display his wife, Brenda Marie Flem, holding my daughter, Winter Rose. And when I said, what's going on here? And then Brenda Flem said, oh, she just doesn't want to get down. She just doesn't want to get down. And I said, what? And I'm looking at my daughter that Brenda is holding in her arms and her body is limp. You know how when you hold a baby will usually grab onto your shirt or grab onto around your neck or, you know, hold on to you. You're holding them, so they're going to hold you back. My daughter wasn't holding her. But yet Brenda Marie Flem kept saying, she just don't want to get down. She just don't want to get down. But she's not holding on to you as if she doesn't want to get down. Her limbs were limp. And my daughter looked at me like with like an expressionless face. She was just like, and I'm like, what's wrong? What's going? Oh, no, nothing's wrong. She's fine. She just doesn't want to get down. Yet she's not holding on to you. And in my mind, y'all, in my mind, as I walked away to go find the ex, because I wanted to know where the hell the ex was and why the ex left my babies alone like that. I walked away from the door, y'all, and the whole time I just kept saying to me, she wouldn't hurt my baby. She wouldn't hurt my baby. She wouldn't. Why would she hurt my baby? Why would she do that, right? But mind you, y'all, November 27th, 2016, Thanksgiving just passed, didn't it? Well, this particular Thanksgiving, November 27th, 2016, I was 7 months pregnant with my twins, Winter and Laker. And as I sat at the Thanksgiving table with the ex-stepfather, Paul Flem, the ex-mother-in-law, Brenda Marie Flem, the ex, Janae Brumby, the two sister-in-laws, Ashley Flem and Stephanie Flem James, because she just got married, so her last name is James. The ex-mother-in-law looked across the Thanksgiving table this day at the ex, Janae Brumby, and said to her, when I decide to hurt those babies, you can't stay mad at me. You have to forgive me. This is what the ex-mother-in-law said to the ex across the Thanksgiving table about the two babies that was in my belly. And when she said that, nobody at the table said anything. Nobody came to my defense. Nobody came to my unborn baby's defense. Everybody at the table put their heads down, almost as if they were possessed, almost as if they were used to it, as if it was normal. And all I could do was grab my pregnant belly in fear, like, this bitch is talking about my babies, but she's addressing the ex. She's not even looking at me, and I'm the one holding the babies in my belly. So it would seem that Brenda Marie Flem kept her fucking promise February 22nd, 2019, when she poisoned my daughter. You know why? Because as I walked away from that bedroom door with Brenda holding my 2-year-old daughter, who just turned 2 years old that month, and my son, obviously they're twins, and I said to myself, she's not hurting my baby. She's not hurting my babies. I ran downstairs to find the ex. The ex was outside on the front porch on the phone. I said, who are you on the phone with? Oh, I called the police. You called the police? Why are your parents upstairs in the kids' room? I don't know why they're upstairs. They just went up there. You just let them go upstairs to the kids' room? Well, they just went up there. I said, get them from out of the kids' room. But before that happened, they came running downstairs really quick. And then Brenda said, we're leaving. Okay, we're leaving. As if, job done, finished. And then her and her husband, Paul, proceeded out the door, got in their gray Mercedes-Benz, and took the fuck off. And as soon as they took off, I ran upstairs to my kid's room because I knew something wasn't right with my daughter. Because my daughter don't react like that. She don't react like that. And I picked up one baby, and Janae picked up the other baby. And we came downstairs. And we put both of the babies on the bottom step, the very bottom step, right? Because they usually sit on the bottom step anyway. So we put them on the bottom step. And as we put them on the bottom step, I looked at my babies, and Winter, her body began gyrating like this. Her body was moving and shaking. And I was like, Winter, her body is shaking. And as her body is shaking, her eyes roll to the back of her fucking head. And I saw my baby's white eyes. And then thick white stuff started pouring out of her mouth as she's convulsing and her body is shaking. And then she passed out on the floor, face down on the floor. And I said, your mother poisoned my daughter. And the ex knew it. The ex knew it. And I just grabbed my baby. I said, we have to go to the hospital. I grabbed my babies, got in the car, put them in their car seats. And my daughter is still. And we rushed to the hospital. And as we were leaving out of our community, the police that the ex called to the house was just coming into the community. But we couldn't stop to talk to the police to give a report because I didn't know if my kid was dying. So we rushed to Centennial Hills Hospital in Las Vegas and went into the emergency room. And the doctor that day on February 22nd, 2019, I said, please do blood tests on my daughter. I need to know what my mother-in-law put into my daughter's system. Do blood tests. He said, well, her vitals seem normal, so there's no need to do any blood tests. And I said, I'm telling you to do blood tests on my daughter. I want to know what the mother-in-law put in my daughter's system. Well, her vitals are normal, so there's no need to do. I said, I'm paying you. I have insurance, and I'm telling you to do you not know the doctor would not do blood tests on my daughter? Old white guy with gray hair. And he just sat there smiling. Well, her vitals are normal. Her vitals are normal. So we don't have to do any blood tests. He refused to do blood tests on my daughter. He said, as long as the symptoms pass, everything should be okay. He said, so just, wait for it to pass. And then, if it gets worse or whatever, just bring her back or just let whatever is in her system finish flushing out. Because I told him everything that had transpired. I said, let everything in her system finish flushing out, whatever the fuck it is that's in her system, right? Because you won't do any blood tests to determine what the fuck it is, right? Of course, I didn't curse the doctor out like that. I'm professional, right? It's what I was thinking. So we left the emergency room. My daughter finished throwing up thick white stuff. We gave her Pedialyte and monitored her the whole day until she went back to normal. The pill that was pushed down my daughter's throat, I'm pretty sure was an acid reflux pill. You want to know why? Because it is the same thing that the ex-mother-in-law put in my drink. Didn't think I knew that, did you? When y'all came over to my house, my first house, not the second house, because the second house is where you poisoned my daughter. The first house is when you poisoned me. When you put an acid reflux pill into my drink. So I'm sitting there drinking from my cup, right? And eventually my throat felt like it started closing up. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? It was to the point where I was trying to chew my pizza and swallow, and I couldn't. It was like it was a blockage in my throat that wouldn't allow the pizza. I had to really try to swallow my pizza to make it go down. My throat, it was a blockage in my throat, right? So when I drank that, and that started happening in my throat after I drank from my cup, I got up and I went into my bedroom into my bathroom. And I wanted to look down my throat to see if something was down there, because I'm like, what the hell? Why is my throat feeling like it's closed up? And I didn't see anything, right? And then when I went back, because it's immediately when I didn't see anything, in my mind I said, let me go back to see what was in that cup. First of all, I didn't think to look in the cup right away, right? Because my throat was closing up and I felt like I couldn't breathe. So I just panicked and jumped up and ran to the bathroom to see if something was in my throat. But then I said, oh, let me go back and look at my cup. Do you not know when I went back to go pick up my cup, to look at my cup, Brenda Marie Flem, the ex-mother-in-law, was in my kitchen at the kitchen sink rinsing out my cup. Yes, the one that I was just drinking from and then my throat closed up. And I thought to myself, now why would she pick up my cup and be rinsing it out in the sink? Who said that I was finished drinking from it? This is my cup in my house. My house. But you pick up my cup and now you're rinsing it out at the sink. I said, why did you take my cup? She said, oh, you can have another one. I said, no, but why did you take that one? I was going to use it. So, y'all, I got a over 2,500 square foot home. My kitchen is huge. Lots of cabinetry, which means I have lots of cups in the kitchen, right? Lots of plates, china, all type of shit, right? You come and pick up my cup to rinse it out because you wanted to use my cup to drink from when you could have just, you were already in the kitchen. Why couldn't you open the cabinet and take a cup out the cabinet and use that cup? Why did you have to come and take my cup from the living room, mind you, because she was in the kitchen? Why did you have to come and take my cup from the living room and go and rinse it out and say you wanted to use my cup to drink from? Red flag. She poisoned me then. And that night I went to the hospital because, again, I wanted to get my blood drawn to see what was in my bloodstream. Now, all of this transpired before I had babies. So this shit was happening to me, okay? I've been through a lot of verbal, mental, emotional abuse in that family. Physical, clearly, right? Because I was poisoned. But when it started happening to my kids, when that day happened to my baby girl, Winter, on February 22nd, 2019, it changed me forever. Forever, it changed me. To the point I couldn't function. I couldn't work. I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns work. That's what we do. I couldn't even work. I was walking in my house, knew I was walking, but I didn't feel myself walking. I didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me. And I would just bust out crying at different times throughout the day. Just break out crying. And then I said, I think I need to talk to a therapist. That was the first time I ever admitted to some shit like that because I never felt like I needed to talk to a therapist before. So I told the ex, I think I need to talk to a therapist. The ex said, oh, I'll find one. I said, I want to go alone. And the ex said, oh, okay, I'll find one that works with our insurance. I said, okay. Because at this time, I still trusted the ex. So the ex found a therapist. And it turned into a couples therapy. And I said, I need to talk to a therapist. I wanted to talk to a therapist. I didn't want you to come. Oh no, but it would be good, for a couples therapy. No, and then later on I figured out that she just wanted to be there because the ex wanted to know everything that I was saying to the therapist to be able to, which was successfully done, especially when it came to the court. I couldn't even get records pulled from the therapist's office because the therapist said the ex said don't pull the records. I said, excuse me? I said, I want the notes that you wrote on me because the therapist diagnosed me as being disorientated. She said, everything that happened to your daughter, it traumatized you. And it made you disorientated. because what you're describing, that's what disorientation is. And I said, oh. I said, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So after I figured out everything that was going on and with me, you know, I got a better grip on myself, right? And I was going to continue with the therapy, but during the therapy, the ex and the therapist were flirting with each other. The ex told, you know, the therapist was telling the ex about poly shit and how she go to poly clubs, you know, and hang out, you know. And then the ex looked at the therapist and said, well, yeah, well, you know, I'm a lusty Leo. All of this is transpiring while I'm sitting there being the one that need help, trying to figure out what's going on with me, because everything that happened with my daughter, with the ex's mother-in-law, and the ex is sitting there talking about being a lusty Leo. And the therapist looking at her like, yeah, let's go hang out. It was like I wasn't even in the room. I'm not lying, y'all. Some folks would say, I swear for God, swear for God. I'm not lying. That really happened. All of this shit happened. And so after all of that transpired, now that was in March of 2022. That was after I didn't file police reports. That's after, you know, I filed for restraining orders and all of that stuff against the ex's parents and everything. And the ex wrote up a testimony. Mind you, y'all, all of this evidence I posted in my community tab. I did videos that's posted right here on this channel. And I have a lot of the evidence that's posted right here on this community tab. All you got to do is scroll down and read it. The ex gave a full testimony on that day of February 22nd, 2019, of what her mother and her stepfather did. Because at the time, the ex was on my side. The ex was on my side until the ex discovered that I was breaking out of the relationship. When the ex discovered that I was breaking out of the relationship because I wanted to protect myself and protect my kids, that's when the ex wasn't on my side no more. That's when the ex turned against me and jumped on their side, right? So that means that it was open season for them to do whatever they wanted to my kids, right? Yeah, because they were doing it anyway. Even when the ex was supposedly on my side, which I don't even think the ex was really on my side anyway. And I have my reasons for saying that, and I can give a lot of examples, but we just gonna stick with this story for now. So after I decided that I was gonna leave the relationship, I started putting things in motion to do it. That's putting the house on the market, you know, working on dividing up assets. We both agreed the kids were going to be with me more than the ex, because the kids were always with me the majority of the time anyway. And there was a lot of friction in the household while all of this was going on. But I started with the separation, right? So I told the ex, you know, I don't think we should sleep in the same room for a little bit. I want separation. So the ex got pissed off because I wanted separation. I didn't want to sleep in the same room anymore. So the ex left the house for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks straight. Where the ex went, I have no idea. I didn't even know a person could just disappear for 2 weeks straight like that. But the ex left for 2 weeks. Me and the babies for 2 weeks. Okay? And while the ex was gone, me and the babies were just fine. We continued with our routine every day. You know, I was working from home, working my candle company business. I was still taking orders. I was still, you know, fulfilling orders. I was still making shipments. And, you know, I think by then I had passed my real estate exam to get my real estate license. So, you know, everything, I was still moving forward in motion with everything. And me and the kids were fine, even though the ex was gone for 2 weeks. The ex was gone for 2 weeks, didn't call. Not once. Didn't call, because of being pissed because I said I wanted separation. I didn't want to sleep in the same room anymore. So you leave your whole family and 2 years old twins for 2 weeks straight and don't call, don't show face, nothing. So I could just imagine what was happening. You know what I mean? The person that the ex is with now is probably the person that the ex was cheating with. But anyway, that's neither here or there. I don't give a fuck. Okay. So, yeah, put things in motion. House on the market. At the time, I was with a brokerage. I forget the name of it, but my mentor, she helped me get the house on the market and helped us eventually sell the house. And the house eventually was closed on December 6th, I believe it was. I believe it was December 6th. And yeah, separated. I moved into my place with my kids, and the ex moved into a friend's house, wherever, to a friend's house. I think it was Iris, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, and her friend Iris turned on me, child. Like, me and Iris were fine, you know. I noticed that when me and the ex like separated and broke up or whatever, I noticed that the people that I was cool with, like, they were like people that the ex worked with and things like that, because I always worked from home most of the time, so I wasn't really out and about as much. But like the people that I associated with that I knew through the ex, I noticed that they just started turning on me and, you know, started just, you know, and I'm like, well, damn. Like, what the, I didn't even do nothing to you. Like, what the hell, you know? So I knew that a smear campaign was being done on me. Whatever, it is what it is. So everything transpired with the moving, the relocation. Of course, it still was ugly. The whole thing was ugly. Before the move happened, the ex admitted to like infidelity and all that stuff, and telling me that, oh, I owe you so much. I owe you everything. I owe you so much, and all this stuff. And, you know, I guess, you know, whatever. January 3rd, I filed paperwork to dismantle the civil union agreement, because it wasn't a marriage license. It was a civil union agreement that was done in Hamilton, New Jersey. So I filed paperwork I was taking the proper steps, the proper protocol to do what I needed to do in order to separate completely and be free and protect my babies. And we were both in agreement with it. I would go into my place, the ex would go wherever the ex go, and we would just co-parent, right? And I kind of got the ex with, well, just think about it. You can do whatever you want to do. You can go wherever you want to go. You can be with whoever you want to be with. You can just be free. You know, this is a good thing, you know? And it, you know, so yeah, I filed paperwork January 3rd, January 16th of 2020, the ex sent cops to my house to try to remove my son. And the very next day, which they didn't, and then the very next day, that was the start of the harassment from the ex, because of the separation and the breakup and all of that, and relocation and all that was, you know, I mean, it had already started in the house when we separated rooms, the harassment and the, you know, aggressiveness and the nastiness and all of that stuff, but it continued even after that, right? So after the ex sent the cops to my house January 16th of 2020, the very next day, the sheriff's office, constable, I think they call it, served papers to the ex January 17th, 2020, which was about dismantling the civil union agreement, which basically let the ex know that this shit is permanent. This is permanent, you know? But I needed to be able to relocate with me and my kids to be free and clear from the ex. I took all the proper steps, but it still don't seem like the ex told me that she was gonna make my life a living hell, and that she was gonna do everything to take my kids from me. Anything and everything to take my kids from me. And it appears that that's exactly what was done. Kind of like her mother. when she said that when I decide to hurt those babies, you can't be mad at me. You have to forgive me. And then she carried through with her promise, February 22nd, 2019, even though I believe she was hurting my daughter way before that. You want to know why? Because there were times when the kids would spend the night at the ex-mother-in-law and the father-in-law's house. And when we would get the babies back, in the middle of the night, my daughter would just start crying out of nowhere. And she never did that, ever. She only did it after she had been over at the ex's mother-in-law's house. And then when I would bring the babies back home, in the middle of the night, my daughter would just... And what's crazy is that her eyes would be completely shut. So it was like, I was like, is she having a bad dream, or like, what is going on? But her eyes would be completely closed. But in her sleep, she would be, I mean, and she would cry so profusely. It was like somebody was hurting the fuck out of her. And I'm like, baby, what is wrong? What is wrong, baby? What is wrong? What is wrong? And I had to keep rocking her and rocking her like, baby, 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 until my daughter eventually opened her eyes. And then she would see me, and then she would just, and I'm like, what's wrong? You know, and all that always happened. Sorry. It always happened when they came from their ex-in-law's house. When my kids weren't around them and they were just with us, my daughter never did that. She never did that. My daughter was complaining about people messing with her belly hurting. Mommy, my tummy. Talking about Janae rushed her to the hospital in the middle of the night because her tummy. The fuck are you doing to my kids? Mind you, my daughter had hernia surgery when she was 2 years old. I think it was 1 year. I think she was 1 year old. She had hernia surgery. And it was almost like somebody just was messing with her stomach on purpose to like, fuck, like. These are very toxic people, very abusive people. And these abusive people are who have my kids right now. Allegedly, right? Because I don't know where my kids are. All communication was cut. So the ex kept the promise of, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to take those babies away from you. Where are my kids? My daughter told me in August of 2020 that the ex-father-in-law, Paul Flem, touched her below. I said, below where, baby? She patted her vagina area. She said, it hurt, mommy, and I cried and I cried and I cried. And when I tell you, my whole heart just broke. It just broke. And I called my mother. I said, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I'm not gonna keep handing my babies over to this bitch so she can hand them over to her family so that they can keep hurting them. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I said, I can't do this. I said, I need to put my daughter in therapy. I can't, no. And I packed my house up. My mother said, I'll come out there. I said, no, you don't need to come out there. I'll come to you. I'm seeking refuge, right? With my mother. Because who else do you normally turn to when you need help? When something is happening to you, when something is happening to your kids, who do you turn to? Your parents, right? I packed my house up. I put everything in storage. Gassed up my truck. My mom flew into town. This was all in Las Vegas, Nevada. And when my mom came in, my house was already packed up. Everything was already on the trucks, and they were already taking it to the storage unit to unload. And my mother said, damn, well, you don't need me for nothing. I said, no, I told you I didn't. You didn't even have to fly out here. You know what I'm saying? So, I could have come to you. She said, no, but I just wanted to drive with y'all. I think she just wanted to drive, She was newly retired, and I guess she just wanted to go for the ride. So my mom came in, packed the kids up, and we took off. This is my way of protecting my kids, y'all. My way of protecting my kids. Get to my mom's house. And I wasn't even there for a month before my mother looked at me and said, I wish you would just get out and go back west. Just get out and go back west. Mind you, I was working diligently every day to try to see if my real estate license can be transferred, to try to rebuild my foundation with my kids. And I just looked at her and I said, what are you talking about? Her boyfriend told my mother to kick me and my twins out. He didn't want us there. So my mom was listening to her boyfriend. My mom's boyfriend told her to put me and my kids in a shelter. We weren't even there a full month, y'all. Think about everything that I just told y'all. The whole story, everything that transpired. And then you seeking help from your mama, whom you hadn't lived with in over 20 years. When I left to go to college, when I was 17 years old, I left and I never came back home. I was gone. Gone. And the one time I needed to come back home was to protect my babies. After 20 years of being gone. And I come back. And not even a month of being there, my mom listens to her boyfriend who told her to put us in a shelter. And she just said, I was with you. I wish you would get out and go back west. Just get out and go back west. Oh, wow. Okay. My brother initially was the first one that told me that this was the discussion that was going on between my mom and her boyfriend. And I was like, what you talking about, Darrell? Yeah, mommy, mommy and T, they was talking about putting you and the kids in the shelter. And T told her to do it. And so they said they was going to talk to you about it, about going. Mind you, the main person that told my mom to do it, he was nowhere to be found. Me and my brother and my mother in the living room arguing. And he in the back room with the door closed, probably happy about the firestorm that he had just started. And I looked at my mother, I said, my grandmother would never say no shit like that to her kids. I said, my grandma never told any of y'all to go into a shelter. And y'all always needed my grandmother. Y'all always leaned on my grandmother. Y'all was always up in 437, heavy. You move out. Financial issues, you come back. You move out, financial issues, go to grandma's house. Move back out and get your own place, financial issues, you go back to grandma's house. And a lot of people in my family did that. My grandma's door was a revolving door. She had a home for 20 years, and it was a revolving door. And my grandma is the type of person, she has a kind heart, and she loves family. And she was never one to turn her family away. And she was never one to tell her family to go and live in a shelter somewhere with their kids. I was there for a month, and my mother told me that because her boyfriend told her to do it. My mom wasn't even around my kids like that. She wasn't even around my kids like that. She would get mad when I had other family members that wanted to come out to visit me and my kids. My cousin Vet was gonna come out. Oh, Nikki, I'm coming out there. My middle name is Nicole, so my family calls me Nikki. Nikki, I'm gonna come out there because I was coming out there to vacation. So since I'm coming out there, I want to come see you and the babies. All right, cuz, come on through. And I'm excited to see my cousin Vet. I love my cousin Vet. Love my cousin Trees. Love them. Okay, I do. My cousin Vet's mom was like a second grandmama to me. Do you hear me? Anna Doris. I was her sweetie pie. But anyway. So I called my mom and I'm like, oh, Vet coming into town. She gonna come see the babies. I'm so happy. No, I don't want her to come see the babies. No, she can't see the babies before me. But she's coming into town anyway, so no. Like, my mom made a big fuss about it. And I told my cousin Vet, and Vet said, just forget it. I won't even come. I won't even come. Same thing with my dad. I was in town, and I was like, oh, Dad's house is right there. Let me call him so he can come and meet his grandkids for the first time. My mother said no. She said no. I said, why? These are his grandkids. She said, I don't want to see him. I said, this don't have nothing to do with you. These are his grandbabies. No, just do it on another time. Do it another time. I don't want to see him. I was right down the street from my dad's house. Literally. And I was going to call him and tell him to come downstairs to meet his grandkids. And my mother told me no. And now my kids are gone. So my dad never got a chance to meet his grandkids. Because the one time that he had to do it, so in a previous video when I said, can a mother really be the cause of their daughter's demise? I said, yeah. Yeah. Why do you think I'm in the situation I am in right now? And my mother could say all day long, that's not me. All the dots connect. All of them. All of them. So, in previous videos, you may wonder why I say things like, oh, my mother said do this, I did the opposite of that. Oh, my mother said do this, I said hell no, I'm gonna do that. Some people might think, oh, she's being a disobedient daughter. No, I'm protecting myself. Because I went towards a woman who I thought was going to be me and my kids' protection, and she wasn't. But my grandma protected everybody. Everybody. And my own mother couldn't even live up to her own mother. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And my mother even said to me, if I have anything to do with your babies getting taken away from you, that'll be just fine with me. I'll be happy about that. This is what my mother said to me. Why she said it, I have no idea, y'all. I really don't know. And that is the God's honest truth. I don't do anything to this woman. I don't do anything to her. We don't even talk. Because of all of this hatefulness, all of this toxicity, negativity. It's kind of hard to get past certain things like that. Especially when you know that your mama is in cahoots with the ex and the ex's family, working together to do shit behind your back about your babies. So, yeah. My mom say do something, I do the opposite. Just like when she told me, stay off of social media. Stay off of social media. Stay off of social media. I started going live every single day, sometimes twice a day. I'm on this motherfucker right now, right? Stay off of social media. Oh, Jackie said stay off of social media. That means go on social media. Be on there every day, all the time. Because she hiding something. I'm still trying to figure out why Las Vegas police can't tell me where my kid's at. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I had a whole police officer the other day ask me to text message pictures of my babies to him so he can make sure he had the correct kids, so, you know. I'm calling, trying to get information about reports, people being real secretive about the reports. 311 telling me, oh, you got to call the substation. But why can't you just tell me? You're reading the report right there. Oh, it looks like literally, she started reading the report. Oh, it looks like you made contact. Excuse me? You have to call the substation. So I had to wait literally through the whole damn holiday season just to get to call somebody. And then I called there. Well, normally 311 handles that. Well, they told me to call you. That's interesting because they usually handle. I say, yeah, that is interesting. It is. Well, let me hold on for a moment, and then that person comes back sounding, the fuck is all the ums? Where are my kids? Where's Janae Brumby? Where's Ashley Flim? Where's Stephanie Flim? Where's everybody? Why ain't nobody saying nothing? I mean, the parents, the ex-in-laws been hiding from me ever since they poisoned my daughter. And that's just facts. I emailed them, called them, all kind of stuff. Where am I? What did you do to my kids? Why did you hurt my baby? Why did you hurt my baby? Why did you hurt my baby? I'm reaching out to them, going off. And so because they wouldn't respond to me, that's when I blew social media up. I blew Facebook up. Do you hear me? This is what they did to my daughter. I went off and just started posting all kind of evidence and stuff. And that's the same evidence that the judge used to put strict orders against the in-laws to stay the fuck away from my kids. And he placed strict orders against them in 2 different court hearings. Why is the ex hiding my kids? And why is the ex hiding? And why are the in-laws still hiding? What's the game that's being played? Where are my kids? What is being done to my kids? Because these are some toxic motherfuckers. So I don't even know if my kids are alive. I have all this evidence uploaded on my community tab, on my Honey Child's Cafe page, all this evidence showing and proving forced entry, showing and proving the emotional abuse, the verbal abuse, all this evidence, with even the ex admitting to it in the evidence, and having the ex having her own written testimony that's right online. Why does nobody care? Why are no arrests being made? Why is no investigation being done? What the fuck is going on? I have a right to know where my kids are. Those are my biological babies. My kids are not around any biological family. No blood affiliated family are my kids around. And I know they are being brainwashed and told all kind of lies. And it's like the ex is trying to make my kids forget me. I mean, I have more evidence to upload, but sometimes you just gotta pace yourself with shit because it's so hurtful that you gotta pace yourself with it. You know what I mean? You can't just keep going and going and going in that same energy. It's too much. You got to break it up with some other things, some other lighthearted things. So that's why sometimes you'll see me posting videos, cracking jokes, being comedic, talking about the news, talking about other things other than this. Because there has to be some kind of balance. You can't keep talking about that same thing over and over again. It's too much. And then on top of that, to have so many people target you and come for you because you defend yourself, because you use your voice and speak up, because you erect boundaries, because you don't allow motherfuckers to walk all over you and treat you like shit and bully you into servitude or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, on top of what I'm dealing with in regards to what's going on with my kids, I have literal people. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it's in the workforce, in the workplace, right? It's just like, sometimes you just feel like I can't catch a break. I can't catch a break. No, I'm not. I've stayed quiet too long. Too long I've stayed quiet. Too long I did not use my voice. Too long I didn't erect boundaries. Too long I allowed people to just railroad over me and just emotionally and verbally and physically abuse me for too long. And now that I'm speaking up and erecting boundaries and standing up for myself, motherfuckers, they don't know how to handle that. They don't like that. So they come for you harder and they retaliate against you harder, more fierce, because they don't think that you have a right to stand up for yourself. I'm not staying quiet no more. I've stayed quiet for too long. Look where the fuck it got me. Listening to controlling, overly controlling, narcissistic people that do nothing but hurt you over and over and over again. No, I won't. I won't stay quiet. Staying quiet does nothing but hurt you. I encourage people to speak up and speak out. Something is happening to you, speak up and speak out. Yeah, they're going to get mad at you. Yeah, they may do stuff to retaliate against you because they're pissed because you stood up for yourself, because you're voicing because, oh, well, then they shouldn't do it then, right? If you're doing nothing to these people, whomever they are, family, friend, co-worker, boss, whoever it is, if you're not doing anything to these people and people are just attacking you for no reason, you have a right to defend yourself and you have a right to speak up and use your voice. And that's just what I've been doing. And I will continue to do it. Yes, I will. I will continue to do it. Because that's how people just go away and disappear and shit. No trails of nothing, just quietly, well, what was going on? We don't know. It seemed like she was all right. No, you gonna know what the hell going on with me, because I'm gonna tell you. It's a lot of videos, a lot of documentation, a lot of written documentation, a lot of photos. You gonna know, because I'm gonna tell you. Wait, hold on. Hi. Thank you. I appreciate your words. This person said, I'm sorry, what happened? Thank you for filling him in. But anyway, so it's good to use your voice, and it's good to document and be heard. And yeah, nobody's doing anything. So I'm going to continue to do whatever I can do on my end to try to find my kids. I've never been in a situation like this before. I've never had a breakup with somebody that was so vitriol. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been in a situation where you break up with somebody and they just are determined to ruin your entire fucking life because you didn't want to be with them no more. That's somebody that can't stand rejection. People break up all the time. all the time. It's nothing new. People, you know, co-parent, and sometimes they turn into the best of friends just through co-parenting. You never know what could happen, you know? But when you do some shit like this, just up and hide somebody's biological kids because you feel hurt, so you want to hurt everybody else, and then you hand them over to people who further hurt them. They not y'all blood. They're no blood affiliation to these people at all. They don't give a damn about my kids at all. They don't care about my kids. The people that supposedly have my kids, they don't care about my kids at all. They're torturing my kids. I promise you that's what's happening. And I done made a lot of people aware. A lot of government officials. I filed motions every 3 months to the courthouse. Still don't get no response. I mean, CPS, police, you name it. You name it. So I have a GoFundMe out. It's on, I'll repost it, where I'm trying to get help in order to raise money to get an attorney that can look a little deeper into this situation to be able to find my kids. So I will repost that GoFundMe link. Hopefully somebody can lend a hand and donate, or, you know, offer, maybe an attorney can offer up some services or something. I don't know. I've tried legal aid. Legal aid turned me down. In Las Vegas, that is. Legal aid turned me down. I'm not sure of what I can do out here. I'm in Southern California. I'm not sure what I can do out here, but I've been getting advice from some other people today about it. And so, you know, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. There's no reason why someone should just hide someone's biological kids because of hurt. Like, that sounds like a child having a tantrum. I'm upset, I'm hurt. You don't want to be with me, so now I'm gonna hurt everybody's feelings and wah, 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 wah. It's like, grow some balls, okay? And I'm not taking away from anybody's feelings, you know, who break up with people. Breakups are not easy. I know breakups are not easy, but you can't hold somebody somewhere that don't want to be there. Confirmation. You can't hold somebody somewhere that don't want to be there. You can't force somebody to stay put, and you can't keep manipulating and using all kind of evil spells and tricks and black magic and whatever else, just dumb shit, to try to hold somebody where they are, to try to keep ties on somebody and to try to confuse somebody and, you know, confuse their mind and make them think that, you know, one thing is one thing and one thing is another. Oh, this person, and you can't do that. Like that's just ridiculous. How does that make you look? What does that say about you too? That the fact that you feel that you even got to do all of that to try to hold somebody that don't want to be there? And 9 times out of 10, you don't really want the person. A lot of times when people break up and a person is pissed because the person left them, a lot of times they either want the person there for like finance reasons or whatever, or they want to get the person back just so that they can initiate the breakup, right? Because they want to make themselves feel better about it, right? Oh, you broke up with me, so now I'm going to try to get you back just to treat you like shit, right? Treat you like shit, make your life a living hell, and then I'm going to discard you like how you made me feel. People do shit like that. Like, they literally, like, they take up a lot of time and energy just to do shit like that, when you can just move on peacefully with your lives. I'm the one that walk away. I don't like all of the arguing, all of the craziness, all of the tit for tat, all of the plotting and planning, revenge. Like I don't have time for that shit. I'm too busy thinking of other stuff to do, creating things, working on things. But like, who has time to do stuff like that? I'll get him back. Oh, I'll get her back. Oh, I'll show her. Oh, I'll show him. Oh, you think you got one up on me? I'm gonna and then twirling the wheels in your brain all fucking night long, trying to figure out how you gonna get somebody back. What the fuck? That sounds like a miserable motherfucker to me. Move on with your life. The hell? And at this point, the bridge is so burned, yo. So burned. So burned. It's ridiculous. And people always think that time heals all wounds. I did a video saying that's bullshit. You will accept things for what it is, right? You will accept things for what it is, and you will move on with your life. Some people don't accept things for what it is, right? That's the whole one-upping, revenge, and plotting and planning to get back in type of shit like that. But anyway, so I felt like I came on here, y'all. Well, first of all, I needed to do my live. But second of all, you know, because I was going back and forth with the police, and I'm going back and forth with this, and I'm going back, you know, and then I'm just, you know, I felt like I was in that loop again, that circle, that loop-de-loop, where you're trying to find this, and you're trying to find that, and you're trying to figure this out, you're trying to figure that out, and then you end up not figuring a motherfucking thing out, and then you don't have nobody that helping you figure nothing the fuck out. So then it's like, you know what I'm saying? So then you kind of get into a funk, and you get frustrated. And so I said, well, let me come on live and do my live, but also give, you know, tell my story in its entirety. You know what I mean? And again, because it's not like I haven't been speaking out. It's not like I haven't been asking for help. It's not like, and what's crazy is that the very people that you think that will help you are the ones that like are against you. And it's real strange. Like real strange. Like I never thought in a million years that, you know, my own I never thought in a million years. But you live and you learn. You learn a lot of things as you get older. A lot of things that you wasn't aware of. So, like I said, I'm going to post that GoFundMe link. On my community tab. And eventually post some more evidence. I don't see how that's not I've done the damn investigation, like just in regards to, you know, putting it all together with the evidence and everything about what was done. I don't see how people are not getting arrested. I really don't. I don't see how. I just don't see how. It's too much evidence out here. I just don't understand. But anyway, or at least being investigated, you know what I mean? So thanks for listening, y'all. I know it was dramatic. I had to get it out. Winter and Laker, your biological mother loves you so, so, so much. And I fight for you every single day. And you are always in my heart every single day. And I never stop thinking about you. You're always at the forefront of my heart and my mind. And I will continue fighting for you. And I love you, babies. And I hope that you are alive and well. Because you have been hidden from me since June of 2021. And that's how long I've been going through this with the ex. That's how long. Somebody need to get some fucking help. Some serious help. Because this ain't healthy. And this ain't it. Talk to y'all later in the next live. Thanks for listening. Subscribe. Please subscribe to All Baddies Got a Story. Check out my other featured channels on this page at That Girl Shanda, which is my artistry page. A lot of my grief I put into my work. And I mean, it's not all grief. You know, some of it is good stuff. You know what I mean? Upbeat stuff, inspiring stuff. But yeah, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Subscribe to the podcast. I have 300 episodes. I have 300 episodes on my podcast. And it talks about a lot of this stuff too. Subscribe to the pod. I feel like the camera's so close to my face. I'm sorry. I also have some episodes in my podcast playlist folder on this page. Subscribe there if you like what you hear. But check me out. I have other links to all of my other social media pages. And you also see see my kids on some of those pages, Winter and Laker. You'll see pictures of them and videos. Well, you'll see videos of them on here because I actually did full videos with pictures of me and my kids and stuff. So thanks for listening, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.